Hello, I am BakedBreens, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the entirety of the Ascension Tree, the 3 new upgrades that have been added to my game, and drop some big news for you guys watching at home. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, and we'll open up the game and get some Ascension points early on so that you guys are able. So without further ado, we'll boot up the game, get some Ascension points so I can show you what has been added to the Ascension Tree. So, now you are able to use your Ascension points for a whole lot more things, and I'll explain how all of the code behind this works, all the mechanics and what they do, where they're used, and what this actually means for the overall progression of the game in the long term. So, first of all, you can only buy one upgrade. I've made it so that you're able to lock and unlock upgrades by buying them, and they have their own correlating families. So you begin with a very basic multiplier that increases everything by 2. You buy it for 1 Ascension point. Then 5 upgrades unlock. A way to make costs scale slower, an increase to your vine power, the power of clicks now affects your idle multiplier, you unlock achievements, and your clicks become more powerful based on how many times you've actually clicked. These upgrades are huge for game progression. So if we buy these 3 here, you can see the final 3 that have been added. Time in each ascension improves your idle mult. Shiny vine buffs last even longer. And vine costs scale slower. So if we close down the Ascension Tree and reset the game, I'll show you how all of the code behind this works. Loading up the Ascension Tree, we can see, if we scroll up, that this is what the Ascension Tree currently looks like. Same as before, except only one of these buttons currently works, the ×2 mult. That's because over here in the right side of the screen, all the buttons are disabled through default. So you can't buy or find out what they do, and it gives a sense of anticipation for them and makes the player work harder to try and find out what there is. So anytime one of the buttons is pressed, it'll change the variable in another script to the corresponding button that's pressed. So when you press your 2x multiplier, it sets the variable to 2 times. Increase storage, increase storage. Incredibly simple and really, really legible for whoever's coding it, me. Over here in the confirm menu is where that variable then gets read. It says that for every possible string that it could have as the variable, the label's text, which is this label here, it has its own custom text to go along with it. So it gives you a brief description on what the upgrade does and how much it costs. That applies for all of the upgrades and all of their individual things there. So whenever you press the confirm button, which is this button here, it'll read what the current string variable is, and this is all the code to go along with it. It checks if you have enough Ascension points to actually buy that upgrade, applies it, takes away your score, disables the current button so you can't buy the upgrade again, and then enables all of the other linked upgrades. And then from there, the same process applies. Checks if the variable is there, checks if you can afford it, applies the buff, takes away your score, disables the button, and then enables all of the linked upgrades. And for the most part, I think all of these other upgrades only enable 1 or none, apart from the 2x multiplier, because that is the starting one. All of the upgrades are unique in their own right, and I want to keep it that way. I don't want to be doubling things over. I might change it so that some you can buy multiple times. So, for example, the ×2 multiplier, you might be able to increase that again and again as you keep on progressing. And that multiplier stacks on itself, so eventually you can get like a ×4 or a ×8 multiplier, reducing the amount of space that the Ascension Tree will eventually take up, leading for more complicated and more late game upgrades, essentially, in the future. But all of these upgrades change a variable over here in the world. So over here up in the world, you can see all of the ascension point related variables. So some of these run by getting variables. So whatever the click power is, how long you've been in the current ascension for, just a basic multiplier to the total idle, you know, things like that. It gets carried over pretty much everywhere. I mean, if we scroll down, you can even see the price scale is being applied over here in where you buy your vines. You know, it's things like that. And it's things like that that really tie the game together as a whole, because it allows me to keep a lot of things the same without repeating too much. Bringing in new mechanics so that the player is playing for longer, exploring new things, doing new things, while still keeping a lot of the core gameplay of a clicker game the exact same. It's just really nice, and I'm actually enjoying this project so much. But as you can probably guess, the Ascension and all of that comes a lot later into the game. Like, you need to get, I think it's 100 million for your first Ascension point. And that, currently, with what I had, wasn't really feasible. You could only get up to here, which is a 500,000 upgrade. Getting double malts for that, it would have taken you forever to get there. And that's with the 3 new upgrades come in. You can see them here, and I'm so proud of these icons. Give my hat back, Jordan, John Cena, and only a spoonful. But yeah, these 3 new upgrades have been added in so that you can continue progressing through the game and not have to grind on the same thing for too long. So you can actually reach the Ascension upgrades feasibly and continue to unlock them and progress through all of the Ascension Tree. The code behind all 3 of these upgrades, as per usual, is the exact same. The same starting script and the same function in the world for when they're bought. And they also do have their reset code already applied. They don't currently have upgrades like all of the other ones do. You know, like longer working hours, louder speakers, crossbreeding, stuff like that. They don't have them yet because they haven't brainstormed their names. But I'm sure they'll get something within due time, and they'll become just another part of the game. And just before I forget, make sure to either join my Discord or check out my itch link in my bio for the current release of Vine Clicker. Yeah, it's out early. I want people to go and play test it and try and break the game, stress test it, do whatever you want to it. But it will be up on itch by the time that this video is uploaded. Whereas that's essentially what I've done. Yeah. So, I've been your host, BakedBreens, and this has been day 4 or 5. This has been day 5 of my 1-week coding challenge. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and be sure to check out all the future updates and all the shorts that I posted if you haven't seen them yet.